The air hangs heavy and still over the common ground in the middle of this nameless, to both of you anyway, town, the settlement, remnants of the ritual performed and interrupted most violently still stand, the altars erected but now unattended, the flaming wheel reduced to cinders, the wind no longer blowing through the wind chimes, water no longer spouts forth from the shining seashell, and the ruined body of a satyr still hangs or is tied lifeless to a wooden post. In the middle of all of this, that stone reflecting pool still steams slightly, the water having been evaporated from the concluding rite which was performed. Holix, you being the only one to have witnessed that with any clarity, who still remain in this area. You stand before Abachov on the verge of frenzy, despair, rage, all these emotions you see running across his bright red face, his eyes looking both pleading and accusing to you. You hold that bow in your hand, your other hand upon the quiver, pondering what to do. As,
yeah. And again, I have taken up my almost statuesque pose as the claw rests upon the quiver, and as my eyes look upon the carvings upon my great wooden longbow, I read them as I contemplate, my gaze shifting from the Thaxian sigils to the ogre in front of me.
You contemplate, as you often do. You're slow and methodical, both in body and in mind, weighing every option, trying to make sense yourself of the strange, doubtful things you have seen that perhaps any other day you might be a bit more sure, a bit more quick to action. But nothing makes sense after this evening. As you read those runes, those characters of Thraxa upon your bow, weighing those options, you don't see, but you feel. You sense another presence. That feeling you get as if you're being watched.
Out of reflex, when I get that sensation, I unhasp the lid of the quiver, perhaps sending a shock or maybe a confirmation of Avashov's fear into him. But then I turn around with my grinding motion to see what I believe to be someone observing me.
And indeed you do. Against that pale light of the moon, which at this point you've been here for hours. It is not early evening, but it is actually the waning hours of the night of the 55th day. Ahriman's eyes have risen and descended such that you can see them from as you turn around to look at this figure you believe is watching you, perhaps an enemy, perhaps not. Those eyes sit just above the horizon, looking, it seems, right at you. Clearly Ahriman observes all during the nighttime, but that pale light casts a silhouette form, or a silhouette over the another form, which you see is moving silently, slowly, to you at a walk, not a run. No, if this is an enemy, no one has brandished anything to give you pause. It's a tall figure cloaked in voluminous robes, nondescript, no markings, just cloth, just a dark charcoal colored fabric at this point.
I turn around, take 2 steps to the side, and dragging the iron peg in the ground,
Do
making
not
way.
leave me like this.
And I stand to a side so Avachov can see that someone approaches.
You come to mock me? I say to the figure.
And the figure speaks as it gets closer to you, out in Thraxa. No, I do not. You have seen this night the power and the spite with which the Magi ply their trade. Your mind has been invaded, and you are broken.
I've been fed with the anger and the wrath.
Yeah.
It's only to the monsters that follow the creator of my species. I'm no longer bound by love of Sazero, but I am hateful towards it. Were I not so hateful towards the Magi that did me this, I would be praising the Magi merely for being enemies of her. But no, he cursed me with this state! With this state!
And in your curse, you have also been freed. Do you not see the Magi for what they are? You were mistaken to look upon them with love, with forgiveness, with hope. You see this. You see this.
I will eat them! I will eat and I will shit them in the most despicable place that I find.
And this figure gets closer, and in fact, at this point, isn't even seem to pay attention to you at all, to Holix, and stands right up to
But I'm afraid.
Avachov.
But their power is so great that they could do this to me so indifferently, just to make a point to the crowd. I'm afraid of their great power. Even almost more so that I am angry, I'm afraid.
And you are right to fear them. They are as cunning as they are powerful. They are not mere brigands, thralls, or runaway followers of the Zansirium. They are different. They are a foe that you cannot face head on, or they will do far worse to you than they have already done, and you will pray for the fate you now find yourself in, for it will be a paradise compared to what they yet can do to you. Know that. But for all their power and for all their cunning, they do not see all ends. And there are those who know them for what they are. There are those that hunt them because they know the lie that the Magi maintain. That road is not yet denied to you if you are not too broken.
I need a way to direct the rage. I am. The way in which now I am bound has also opened my eyes into a way in which I could channel the rage. Maybe not a way, but the possibility that I can channel the rage with some kind of carefully distributed new passion, some careful direction. I know this is possible because of how I am bound by the binds so weak. Each bind so weak, and if they were otherwisely placed and I could rip them all apart with one quick, strong movement, yet I cannot, for they have been so carefully distributed, and I know that this weakness, this pathetic bound, I can bind myself with something less strong than my hate, but more cleverly placed. I can do this. I cannot, so I do not become the monster that I will not be. I will not let them make me a monster merely for the example of the lies that they place. I will not serve them. They have tried to make me an example by means of my hate. They have tried this. They want me. They did not kill me. They want me to be freed. They want me to feed upon the populace so that they can then say what would happen to those that don't follow the magic. But this is their fault. This hatred that I feel now is their fault. It's their fault. assholes. It's their cunning, as you say. It's their plan. I will not be a part of their plan, but I need a way to direct this rage. For it is the most powerful passion that I have ever felt. And while it hurts me horribly, I will not let it aid them, even if it causes more grievings to me. I will not let them be aided by this hatred. No! No! What can I do with this hatred? How can I hide?
A path has been blocked to you this night, but a new path may open if you have the strength and the will to walk it. You must use your mind as much as your body, unless you wish to feed the fields with your flesh, or perhaps your bones, or even your soul be used in some spell, some incantation that you have seen today. And the figure is silent for a moment. You
I
can't see
will
any.
not let them use me further for their spells nor for their land. And I try to, even though it is apparently impossible, I try to destroy the bonds that are binding me right now. I put all my strength to each of my muscles for whatever tiny and unaligned as they may be, for I have been bound in a way that I cannot use my mightiest muscles to free me, but even the tiniest of my muscles is bound. And their ropes are tensed in a way in which it seems as if they were almost gonna give up, but my muscles give up first, but not my will, and I say, no, I am strong not only of muscle, but of will. I have partaken in much suffering, even without calling it so. And now I partake in more possible suffering than any non-ogre could fathom. I am still here, and I will still not let myself be a tool to my enemies. I am strong. I
And with
just
that, the figure, whose form you can't see, again, he's backlit by the moonlight, so he's covered in a hood, and you can't see his face at this point, but you do see as from somewhere the figure draws a gold knife. Carved upon it are, like your bow, characters in a language that neither of you are familiar with. And you see black, very dark flesh, hair-covered hand with 3 fingers hold out and take that knife.
Out of reflex, I look upon him with my supernatural senses, only slightly alarmed by the coloration of his flesh. Do I feel any taint in this creature?
No, not at all. And again, as if feeling you're looking uh, at it. It turns to you slightly, There are others who walk this path and know the truth of this land's foul birthright. And he holds up his hand to you. His other hand, one hand's holding the knife, but another hand, actually, you up to you. And you see painted upon it, against that black skin, is a blue star. And then closes his fist. And you know that for what it is, certainly.
I acknowledge its position and its creed, but I do not comment upon it. And now as I see it taking care of Avachov and taking that, or making that decision for me. Okay, he is apparently worthy enough to be spared for some purpose. I look away from Avachov and walk past him in my slow gait as I move up to that bound satyr corpse. And when I reach it, I look upon its full context, how badly it has been marred and savaged by whatever magic or mysticism used upon it. I take my claw and I open its chest cavity where I shot my golden arrow, and I remove it. And I look upon the dent on the gold. Upon which I sit down with a loud heavy thud. And I move, almost lifting that iron peg and put it upon the other leg, using that heavy iron piece that I have nailed to my stony leg as a sort of quick fix anvil, as I then start to hammer with my knuckles upon that golden tip. Hammering it into proper shape again.
And to that sound, you're able to do that. The figure looks to you, Avachov. You have served before. You may serve again to a greater purpose than you realized. You have felt the sting of magic, and you know in your heart the truth of your conviction. The Magi are a bane upon this world.
I know in my heart, I know in my muscles, I know in my veins, I know in my brow. I know the yellow bile inside my body, I know, well, all humors inside me know
And
that
will
I
you do what is
am
necessary?
of magic now on.
Will you do what is necessary to see
Everything
them?
that's necessary to eliminate the magic, and I know one of the first things I must do is be able to be calmer
I
somehow.
can offer peace to you.
You can.
You must serve. Will you do so?
I will. I will show the Magi that I will not be a slave of the curse. I will not be a slave of the hatred they have put on me. I will show them I can be bigger than my hatred. I will show them I will pretend I don't hate them. I will.
And he takes that golden knife and each binding strand of rope cuts through those fibrous cords. One by one, you feel the muscles, you're able to expand, to move. You are released. He puts that knife back in his cloak, his robes, and stands before you.
I start standing up, kind of slowly, even though I immediately expanded my muscles the moment that I could actually expand them. A tracking sound can be heard as I am flexing these muscles now unbound. And I am trying to calm myself, for this hatred is what they want to see. They want to put me down. Surely they want me to do the things of the monster they have created. And they want to put me down, apparently to the eyes of all righteously. But no, it wouldn't be righteous. I was imposed this by them. I will not let them make me weak.
And though you tower over this figure now, when you were sort of on your, bound up and on the ground, obviously this figure towered over you and was looking down. Well, as you get to your feet and are now much taller, the hooded figure does not raise his head to look upon you, his gaze still cast down, looking upon the earth, keeping that hood covering the features of its face. Though it doesn't look at you, it still speaks nonetheless, but doesn't meet eye contact. Good. Play the part. Be the one who is cowed. Make it seem as though you are beaten. Do not jeopardize the truths I have revealed to you this evening. You have already done so once. By the fortune of the angels, it has not brought doom upon your brethren. Do not make the same mistake again. Do not speak of secrets that are not for foreign ears to hear.
What secrets, what should I not speak?
You truly do not yet realize? Do you think the presence of yourself, of that Aron, of myself, of the others you have seen, the strange individuals I've come to this land. Do you believe such is mere coincidence? There are no coincidences, and there are ebbs and pulls.
Foreigners are the allies of Sanzero, and I hate Sanzero.
Then hate her. Do not take her weakness out on those who venture forth to do the true will of justice, the true will of righteousness. Do not take her weakness out on those whom have set you free. You may look upon this situation you'll find yourself in as a curse and be destroyed by it. Or you can view it as an opportunity. For you are free of the shackles of the mind which have bound you. And now, knowing what you do, of the truth you were made to serve rather than given the choice, now that you feel that realization in your mind, would you willingly go back were it in my power to do so? You would not.
Even if it was the only way for me to be happy, I would not go back to Sanzero. Even when I was taught this was the only way to be happy. I hate her too much. I will not go back to her. But I resemble like pieces shattered among my memories. I don't. The feelings of allegiance towards Tehulix, and I see Tehulix when I say this. Feelings I felt separated, for he did not embrace Sanzero, and now I feel united for not embracing her. The allies, before I saw us foolish for not embracing her fully and just sharing a common goal. Now I don't know what to think of you, but I will say you this: if there's anything you can do so that I don't give in to this hatred, don't give in to the purpose this Magi have put forth for me, feeding me with that which Sanzero kept me far away, that which I hate almost as much as I now hate her. I will not fall prey to the plans of the Magi, and I will not fall prey to the plans of Sanzero anymore. Maybe there is something.
I raise my head as you speak to me in this fashion. Again, one can hear me napping upon that gold-plated arrow. And then I stop as I listen to what you're telling me. I don't comment on it for several seconds, and silence hangs in the air. But then I break it. I am a hunter of the taint that erodes and despoil the dead. That is all I am, and such is my purpose. If you will find peace in such work, you may hunt with me.
Olix, you follower of the gargoyle god, before you said that if Sansero was so, when I spoke to you about how Sansero restrained me from being like others that are guided by hatred, you nodded. I remember you nodded. Let me tell you, these magi, these people that have done this to me, I saw you dodge, you did not attack them. They, I can tell you, they unleashed and fed my hatred of hatred. They unbound me by Sansa, but I felt the hatred. Now the hatred that I feel is the strongest emotion have I ever felt. But no, this time I will not be led by emotion, neither hatred nor love, nor piety to a false deity. I must tell you, these magi, if you respect boundaries put upon hatred, if you respected that, then you must hate the magi, for they fed my hatred. It is their fault, and the fault of my weakness that I slayed that human. I did not want to slay that human. I just wanted to hurt Sansa, for my hatred to her was so big. Never have I felt such a big hatred towards Sansa, but she speaks strange words, and he just commanded my body, and I just have never been commanded in a way so except by priests of Sansa. I must tell you, it is upon their mouths, it's upon their words that hangs the blood of that human and any other innocent, that they want me to spill more blood so they can blame it upon me. And it is truth that is my weakness now. It is truth that it is pardon me. But no, it has been their plan, it has been their cunning. As I now see, it was the cunning of the priests to bound me so with piety, and this magi bound me with hatred. You offer me a choice, cloaked figure. You offer me a choice, and you must be the first person who offers me a choice. I will want to speak of this choice that you offer me, of the star that you show me. I want to know of it. If you are of the enforcers, if you are of a god that could see beyond my current weakness, that could see beyond the hatred that now is a strength and a weakness at the same time. It
I
is the
offer you a purpose where none now exists.
I will hear of the purpose you offer me, but I need, for it to be a choice, I need time, I need to listen to it through some time. I need to understand so that it can be a purpose chosen by me and not a purpose imposed. As Sansa tried, as the Magi tried, I want to choose my fate. And in the time that I am choosing my purpose, I need to become bigger than my own hate. I need to find the focus of calmness. I will need to know meditation. to be bigger than my hate, so that my hate does not betray me, so that my enemies see me fearful than more than angry, even if that may not always be the case. I will not let them vanquish me. In the eyes of everyone in this town that would seem righteous, but it is part of their cunning plan, I can see. I will not see their plan be fruitful. I will be somehow the being that I was taught that with all my might and with all my big height and my muscles, I was small in comparison to Sansero. I spit blood that still hanged from my chewed lips. Now even when my mouth is shut, you can see the teeth on the sides, for my lips have been chewed and I have fed upon them. And even if that could not appear possible before, I am now of a more foul image than before. I
I offer you the opportunity
yes,
to
and
fulfill a greater purpose.
I want
And
to follow and hear of this opportunity. I will follow you wherever it is that you hide. I I will hear of the opportunity. Now I know I am much greater than my passions. Because even when I feel this, I can say no. I can think no. And now I will, oh, and now I understand that Vachov is big and great. And now I understand I have a choice. I want to follow you and see and listen of this choice that you propose me. To take on my enemies and to Ulix, if you, I, I would like to, I would like to keep by your side, to Ulix, for your presence soothes me.
if you are to make this choice, you must free yourself of any conflict. And he holds out that hand again, gesturing towards the book that you still have on your person.
He gestures the satchel, and I open the satchel, and there
Holy
are
Book
two.
of Zansaro that you have.
They were inside the satchel, so I open the satchel, and I hold two books, and I am about I have each in one hand, and I just drop the one of the barber, and I'm about to tear the one of Sansero, but just before I do so, I remember words spoken in Moolish, but this being, it seemed like some kind of feline. Just before I shattered the book, I think, and I say in Moolish, Raskasov. And then I correct myself to speak in Thraxas so that this person cloaked may understand that I say trade. Destroying this book would be being a slave to my hatred. Keeping it would be being a slave to Sansero. No, this book can be traded. And that could give me other things.
There are none in this land who will trade with the secrets within that tome. The only payment you will receive is pain. The words of the gods are spat upon and are denied. You have learned this by your own pains. There is nothing for you there.
I could trick. I could go towards the Magi and tell them that I no longer, and that much is true, I no longer follow. I no longer follow Sansero. I could tell them I can give this book so that they know of their enemy. And in exchange, maybe I can get other things. Maybe I can get food, which I will need. Maybe I can get to learn more things on this town. I am alone in a strange town, and even when I still hold the purpose of the enforcers, I still want to hunt the things that my... I don't know if you are my friend, Tuhulix, but I am your friend. Your presence soothes me. I want to help you, and I want to hurt the Magi. If I am to stay here, I am gonna need food, I am going to need water. Sansero will not provide for me, for I no longer follow her. I
And you will
accursed
have
her name.
to use your own intellect and cunning. But
Yes.
what is in that book is not for the eyes of any of these heathens.
Then I
Destroy
will.
it now, or hand it to me.
That is what I was planning to do. I was gonna tell you that if I destroyed, I would be enforcing my hatred, but I need to be bigger than my hatred, even when my hatred is the biggest passion I've ever felt. I can't be bound. I can't be bound.
Then make the choice.
I make the choice. You have offered me choice. You are the first person who has offered me choice. In trade of this offer, and in trade of you teaching me about the god or deity that you follow, in trade of that, I give you this. I tremble because my fingers still want to crush the book, but I make a strong effort and I open my palm fully. The book is now open, but you can take it. My hand trembles and you can see extreme hatred towards the book. I want to destroy it, but
He
I...
holds out his hand. I offer you new purpose. In time, we will see if your metal is of value to the Blue Star. He takes the book, puts it in his robes. He looks to you, then to Holix, approaches you, but speaks in this silence. It's enough for both of you to hear. It is more than your individual wills which have brought you to this place. You are a hunter of the unwholesome and of that which is contaminated, but that is not all that you are, and that is not the only direction your responsibilities lie, and it is for more than such that you have been drawn to this place. He takes out a scroll of parchment, and upon it is clearly a missive which has been written by Sersan Omiraz, that guide, the person you were supposed to meet with in the first place. All those many days and chains in the past. You'd almost forgotten about it. You were more than capable of walking the distance to Ipapum yourself, but you never received any answers, for you never found your contact, your point of contact.
I observe what is written, I come down and take a hold of the parchment, and
And
I
it is, yeah.
read.
And it is that same piece of parchment, not that you were aware of, but which was shown earlier, an indication of what was to follow, of your purpose here. Your purpose in arriving and in you were to guide Nazvog to this Vaigish, who was in turn meant to take you to an individual named Tanum Raum. And by the descriptions of that figure, you can surmise this to be he who stands before you. They were to be as one unit, as it were, although that's not quite the correct way to think of it. Your purpose being to gather information in this place, to find what secrets, what weakness lie within the people of this land, to provide in whatever way you might discover an opening, a foothold, a crack in the armor of this place, so that the influence of the enforcers might be felt, might begin to grow, to allow a seed to be planted, that the hateful occultism and the trollish dealings with which these heathens have engaged in since times immemorial might be washed away. And that in this parchment is an explanation of something of the history. It's not very long, but of the countless cycles of unending dedication to the trolls, of the supremacy of the orcs, and the presence of mainly only orcs in this place, with some meager exceptions. But in these recent cycles, things are now changing in Ifapum, with the coming of humans, and with the arrival of satyrs and sprites and other species, as the way the people are governed has been changed. So too can that change be an opportunity for manipulation and perhaps eventual dominance.
I look upon that missive, I internalize what the mission statement is and understand it. And then I think of that necromancy I saw being performed earlier this day, and that sentence, foul, hateful magic. And I remember the utterly benign expression upon every single ghost here that was guided with the orcish mysticism. And more of this indecisive doubt rings in me, but I don't say anything. But then I fold that note, perhaps to the surprise of this benefactor in front of us, as I turn the paper over to it. And then I look towards Avachov. I still hold my long bow in my right claw, and then I gesture for you with my left claw for you to come forth. And then I take what would be my thumb claw, and I tap a few of the Thaxian markers upon my bow. a hunter's boon is written upon that particular side.
Avachov comes forth as you gesture him to, and he looks at the markings, but you may or may not like he looks and then looks at you a bit like confused.
I look upon you again, seeing that you do not comprehend. Can you hunt?
I have great physical prowess. I don't have training of a hunter, but I can learn. I can learn, and I will be far greater than I ever was when I thought I was small. Now I understand who I am, who chooses his own path, and I choose to learn to hunt.
I nod at that, and I, perhaps in a gesture that would seem odd, definitely to another Aron, but perhaps feels comfortable or even would even bring some comfort to you. I take my left claw and I grab your hand, not roughly or in a forceful manner, though again, I am made of stone, so the texture might not feel comfortable at all, but I grab it and gesture for you to follow this way, as I
When
walk with you beyond the moors, so we may hunt game big or plentiful enough to feed both Aron and Ogre.
when you gesture me towards the hand, because what I'm assuming you're like basically putting your hand, like for handshake, because I wasn't having my hand there, so I actually do a gesture that's the usual handshake of ogres, and because that's the one that I'm most used to, and the one I thought about when you did that, and that's that I let your hand be on like my bicep and I touch your bicep. For ogres, it's usually a kind of measure of strength because a lot of around ogres is like we're both measuring each other's strength. But of course, as you mentioned with your rocky, I no way can know the strength of you by touching this rocky thing. But I do, like, you see me like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I'm grabbing at at here and I expect to be grabbed. You get what I mean? I
I
hope
get
that.
it. And I lead you beyond the moors where we
As
commence
you
hunting.
Before you do that, is the figure still there?
Yes.
Okay. I do that and then I release. You release when after I release?
And I
Yes.
start walking towards a direction I motion you to follow.
Okay, then Avachov, before following, because he knows how slow you are and he can very well hear you, from the noise of the leg
Right.
that is, yeah, dragged. He looks at the figure and he says, "Thanks for giving me a choice. In a way, you have given me myself, the capacity to choose. I have given you that so that you may know more about Sansero and hate her as much as you will. I I look at the ground, that book that I just tossed. I take it and I look at it for a moment. You can see hate in my eyes, but then I sighed, open my satchel and put it back, and I say, "There is things useful in that book. There are things of healing and of torture that I can learn from there. I hope I can see you again, and I hope to learn more about the blue star that you have shown me." I
I
see.
will be watching.
Then I shall do as you said, and I will not let these people will see. Sansero would never imagine such a strategy to pretend you are weak when you are strong. She just wants everyone to see how happy a follower is and how happy you can be if you follow her. I'm gonna show my enemies a broken Avachov. They're gonna see me broken. They will not see what I am properly building now. They will just see fear. They will see me weak. They will not see that I am no longer weak, and in this weakness that they see will lie their own weakness, for they will be ignorant of the vengeance that is to come through the enforcers, and through the knowledge that I shall gather from them. I
The
thank
figure
you.
does not respond to you, but looks not even at you as you tower over. You tower over it, but stands seemingly as motionless as Tolix is wont to do, and speaks no more to you. And as you rejoin Tolix, walking out slowly beyond the perimeter of buildings and structures out into farmsteads and even beyond into the moorish hills. It is a long time before the both of you no longer feel the presence of eyes on the back of your heads. That as you make your way out into the wilderness to procure food, we fade to black.